Oh, nice. The add-on was really cool. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're here to take a look at ENHYPEN and their track Fever. We got the music video and dance practice to look at. This is a Patreon request. Shout out to Hannah for the request. Hannah is our go-to ENHYPEN requester, and I'm just so happy to be able to take a look at this group in this way, in some form of chronological order. It's fun. Okay, I'm ready. Hope you are. Let's watch. Are we in our Prince era? We're looking pretty royal right now. Angsty royal. When are the teeth coming out? That was cool. Uh-oh. What did he say? What did he say? So I've heard the song because of Boys to Planet, but I haven't heard them do it.
Don't stop. 그래 all day. 채워줘. Please stop. 나에 대하여 그만 baby. Oh baby. 이런 날 어떻게 좀 해줘. 어떻게 좀 날 도와줘. 날 도와줘. 날 안아줘. 너 때문에 온몸이 타올라. 너 때문에 심장이 목말라. Like a fever, 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 fever.
The tension on it's really cool, and the reverb on it. Is the whole time gonna be him trying to get the glitter off his face? Just kidding. That glitter is hard to get off, depending on how you apply it. Oh. I'm curious how our royal concept bleeds over into this. I mean, there's a little stained glass, but we can associate a little flame. It's the neon shirt side. I'm not quite sure about that to everything else that's been branded to it. Huh. It's catchy. Okay. So, what is it? We'll have to look at the full dance, but what is it? Some of our music video shots, I do know some of our members are young, right? Like 15, if I'm remembering right. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Do I think, I'm trying to remember if this is the track, because I remember there is a track that they have that they're a bit too young recommended to be doing because there's like a teasy tension in it that a 15-year-old personally I don't think should be partaking in at their age and where they are in their life. And I do believe you guys had mentioned that ENHYPEN themselves were like, yeah, this particular track, I don't know if it's this one, so I could be saying this a little too prematurely. They had mentioned that there was a track or two that were a bit a little too much for the age that they were. And I will say this, there are some people, I'm not saying all, there are some people who they wait until they hear from the artist themselves that it wasn't okay for them to look at it as not okay. It shouldn't have to be the artist that comes out and says it in order for the public or for fans or for teams involved to be honest about it and kind of say, maybe we shouldn't do this, right? So, well, once again, this one it's not super teasy in the movement from what I'm noticing so far. We're not dressed in a way that's super risque either. Like your outfit can really influence that too. I do think it's some of like the water, some of the that breath sound, also how you can take some of our verbiage. But yes, that we are very, very young. Just because you can do it well doesn't mean you should do it. Is another point too, right? Because they look great doing it. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts. If I didn't know what I know about this particular like vibe or response, would I have picked up on maybe this isn't too the best for their age? I think I don't know, because there's really not a lot. You can read into the lyrics a little bit, right? Like burning intention and stuff. And I also don't know how fans responded. I think that can be another thing too, is that if fans are like, and like thirst tweet kind of energy comes from it, that can be another thing. But then that can happen with any track they release. So I don't know. It's very interesting. I would love to have a discussion with you guys about that for sure. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the dance. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. I think it's the words break me into. Like you're asking for this type of tension from someone. That would be, I think, not my only. I would pick up on that, I think. Like this is cool. The tension's really cool on there. That too. The whole don't stop. That's cool. With the heads rippling to the next feature. Oh, nice. The add-on was really cool. With the little toss down. It can be fatiguing. Tension-based choreographies have that deception to them that they look, because you're bleeding through your phrases, you're in control and your muscles are engaged through all of that. Okay, from the top. So we've already kind of touched on the bass line, things with the music video. So we're not really going to focus on that here. We're going to look at the structure of the dance itself. Let this slowly pop up. Pew, pew, pew. Cool. I do not wish fevers on anyone, because it doesn't feel good to feel sick. But also, they're like, I want that. Okay. So we have our first feature with his head. I really like the subtlety of that, where everybody's frozen. First feature comes up. And then our next feature transfers over. I like the little bleed out where it goes 1, 2. We're kind of not even rippling, but we are accenting and each having our own moment. We're all facing back, except for my very, very first feature. Then we have this lift up, the blindfold look. And it's not even a blindfold, but like the eye cover. And then the little on the sound, we have that resonate there. So the bass, boom, I really like the accent with the chest there. And it looks like we involved the shoulder there. And I like the, the drop of the level. And then they have the reverb. Reverb meaning that we go from a loud movement to a softer movement through like a repeat. Like you see from a vibrato that decrescendos. It's kind of like that in movement. So then we have that breaking me in two. And then the chest with a tension on that. So they have really good speed control. It's really nice. We open it up, we drop it down, and then we have the chest with the leg accenting out. Bless them for wearing boots. Goodness. So we rotate it, we switch it, and then we have a nice boom reverb on the tail end of that, where we accent boom, that has a nice residual effect to it. Good tension there with the arms. We cross and cross, and then we pull it up. And we twinkle the fingers in. So we see a lot of this throughout, especially near that tail end too. I like that we have them, they switch, and then we look over. I like the sides where they're all looking to stage left. So even though there's two people who are accented outside of the column, you're wanting to look over here because of where they're looking. So the reach is nice. So I like the pass off in the vocals for that. That was sick. The pulls, taking it down at the arm, we rotate it around, and then we have the reverb there. Reverbs are your best friend on a tension-based track, for sure. And then we open it up, get it low. We trace it. That was really nice, where we hit, and then we, rotate those hands, or we rotate there. And I like the wideness of that. Good levels, that like we're catching our breath here, which you got to catch your breath on this. So we have it up, and then we're grabbing, of course, the vampire allure. I associate the neck to like biting someone. Now, what is it? To how somebody could read into this too is that yes, they have a vampire allure, but it can be like another sensual avenue of not giving, essentially giving somebody some love here on their neck, where it leaves a little impression, if you know what I'm inferring. Because we have to remember, a lot of groups who have heavy lore, their music videos, for marketing's sake, I would very safely assume this, if you want to open up and branch out and have new fans join in, you shouldn't expect them to just look at your work from the very beginning. They may be exposed to you from a random comeback on a random day, right? They may come across a dance practice like this. This may be somebody's first video of ENHYPEN, right? And I have the pleasure of, being able to see them from the debut side here through this, request lens. And you want your music videos to be independent to where you get your point and concept, like general concept across to where it can be marketable. And then if somebody wants to understand the nuances, they can dive deeper, right? And that's the tricky thing with lore, is that you want it to be something manageable, but not something that people can't really connect to or want to dive into because they showed up too late. Do you know what I mean? But I digress. But all that to say, this could be taken quite a few different ways, which, ties back to the previous just observations. I'm not going to touch like extensively on it because a lot of you guys know my position on a lot of it, and it has been brought to my attention. So it's in hyphens even talked about it too. So we're not going to talk about it too much. But I really, really, really like the leg extended out with the shoulder and the accent interruption of the shoulder chest flow. That's sick. Like, that's so cool. They bring it in, good tension, then they hit it to the other side. ISO, ISO, ISO to the head. And then we end up taking it, creating a thread. There's your fever. We're tracing it here, and then we have it like we're suffocating. And then we bring it around the back. And then we hit it sent to where normally when you check a fever here. And then we rotate the head around. And then we open it, or we have it enclosed here with our arms. Good tension with the elbows is nice. And then we press away like that we're in a circle here. And then we have our tension. And we get it. We send the shoulders low, low. And we knock it up. And then we have a little finger, a little twinkle, twinkle there. Pull it in. They have that da da da, and I like the knee on that too is cool. We pull it up, and then we end up sending it to the neck, rotating it around, and then we bring it in. We rotate through. That sound. What is that sound? Hold on. Okay. So we end up hitting it, boom, little reverb to settle back in posture to the forehead. We drop it down. I like this little fold down is really cool. That little and then we end up creating reverbs are all over this mess. We use that to help trigger a response to the body. So we get low. I like the look there. You have the don't stop. The head is cool. And then we end up doing a little running where we double it up. The rebound of weight, and then we use that to help spread out, which is cool. Then we pull in, which was nice. Your feature deviates. Everybody else is really good on matching each other and trying to maintain some form of symmetry. We slide it in. I like the body roll. So we have a new feature that's popping in from one side to another, and I like that. Just from a simple direction change in the torso, you were able to really clock that quickly. So being really clean helps in the subtleties when you want people to be featured in a subtle way. So then they all drop down really cool and getting to their levels very quickly. So then you have your next feature here. He brings it in, subtlety, with the shoulder opposition. We open it up. Now the head ripple is really cool here. He looks, hit, he interrupts the flow and then completes it. Then it goes, ooh, matching the run. Cool. Bridge recover. I like that you have a potential assist. Well, it's really not. It's like he's about to grab him, but not quite, right? He comes up, then he hits it through, we rotate it, little lasso on the arms, we pull it, and then you have the guitar. I love the drop down, and then we bring it back up with tension. It's cool. So the format of the formations are sick. I really, really like how we get into our levels. I like the pass off on features, the risk taking on, well, let's try to get our feature to show up on stage right while we have a stage left movement feature. That's very risky because you don't want to pull people's attention too much, and I think we ran into that with, what show was it? There's a show that we watched. I'm currently watching Great Dance Crew Season 2, and there was a team that went where it was like a conflict of where should I look as an audience member. That's something that I think they do quite successfully here, is that I get to take in all of it, but still focus on who they need me to focus on peripherally, which is really nice. I think that's great. Arms go up. I like this sway on the arm with just a single arm, and then we involve both, and we pick up the foot, and then we run, then we rotate it around to the other side. And then we body roll, tension with the body roll, nice. And then we bring it up. And then you have that drop in the breath, grabbing of the neck, that kind of stuff. And then we open it, little shampoo in the arm. And then I like the shoulders coming in on that too. Really nice. Like the range on this with the hinge assist is sick. So it's not a full-on hinge, but we are using the upper body in a sense of a hinge, creating openness for these rotations. And it's not just keeping it on one plane, it's multi-planar, meaning that there's multiple directions of movement happening at the same time for something like this chest, with other tensions and other, not even traces. We have traces, which I'm actually surprised there's not more traces. They're more as like accent points. They're not focal points like the reverbs are, if that makes sense. Love that. It's very placed. Like that's technically a trace where we're tracing up the body. I love the subtlety of this add-on. So it's the people who are directly connected to him peripherally. Like if I'm looking the next people, in theory, you would assume it's these two that join, but I love that it's my back two, and they're so well in the degree and area of spacing that you can have the people you want be featured when you want them to be featured. So cool. Yep, and then you have the toss over, and then you have the head rotate around. Then we toss it. It's nice. They take it high to low, press away. Same as before. Most likely different features. We're either mirroring our feature or creating balance within it. The twinkle is nice. Oh, nah. But the travel up is nice. Trace. Now it's all unison, so seeing them all do the same thing is cool, but how they introduced it in the second course was an add-on, which is a fantastic example of something I touch on quite often. When you're choosing to do the same choreography, how are you repackaging it so we can redigest it and be captivated by it again? A lot of times people just rely upon their new feature. That's cool. However, adding something or supplementing like an add-on, which is what we saw when he was up front, fantastic way to balance it out, create a really nice way of listening to the track and also seeing the movement presented in a different way. You see it more subtly because of the quantity of people doing it is less, and then it builds up to more people. Just like here, it's all unison, right? It's nice. Head is nice. We open it up, toss it down, it's cool. And then we're down really quick, getting to the freaking floor, man. So I like the bass on that, where he accents and now everyone's frozen. You can tell it's tiring. So he has a little switch hit, and then we bleed out of it, and now he's down on the ground, which helps tie into what we saw in the very beginning. So now he becomes bound. It reminds me of the darkness that they got swallowed by in the beginning, is what this reminds me of. I don't know if that is a lore gesture, but we have these little bleeds, and then what was cool is you have one member. See, I didn't even catch this until right now. That is cool. And that's probably why you didn't see me react to it, because I didn't notice it. So he's down. They switch the person out. Yeah, so they grab, and then he comes up, and they have to be so fast on this. He comes up, have his moment. I was going to say, why is he doing that? But it's because he's covering it up as a nice little moment. It's so fast. And then they grab again. That's sick. That's sick. They pull up, some bridge recover, some just come up, and then we have the same reveal like we saw in the beginning. Go forward, little sweep. He's the only one who doesn't do that. If I was a feature, I wouldn't want to move either because we've already done so much, right? Same with the chest. Nice. Same as before. Fever, fever. Oh, that's cool. They execute the style very, very well. So we're gonna recognize that. Like, this looks really, really good. And we've already covered the other topics that normally come with doing a style like this. The twinkle is nice. So this is the third. So this one looks really, really similar to the first course, which is framework, and then you had a deviation in the middle course, which I think is fine. We rotate it through. How are we going to come out of it? Knock it. And then we throw it down. Exhausted. And then you gotta sing too. It's tiring. Yeah, I thought this was really nice to see, and it's cool to see their versatility as movers. And it makes me intrigued on do we entertain a direction like this in future works this close to this one, or do we go a different direction? I know Sweet Venom exists. I just don't know. That one came out 23, if I'm remembering correctly. So that's really the only one outside of this marathon that we're doing through requests that I have seen of ENHYPENs all the way through. So yeah, it's just, I'm always intrigued by discussions with you guys, especially when it's about certain topics that we covered here. And if there needs to be more context for me in order to understand how to look at their works as we encounter them, I'm so open to that too. But yeah, this was really nice in the sense of like the tension and the style of it, in how they get in and out of their formations. It's really well done, just in a composition standpoint. It's super sick. Thank you, Hannah, again for this request and for being our requester for ENHYPEN. This has been really great. I'm Jess. You guys know me, I know you, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.